Honestly, when I think about the Olympics that just ended, I tend to think about Olympics in terms of all the big viral moments that they created, like moments that you see on television and then you remember because you know you're going to see them over and over and over again. And obviously, I start to think about that Norwegian athlete, the Norwegian biathlete, who on camera after winning a bronze medal was like, well, I cheated on my girlfriend and I sure would like her back. And that seemed to be sort of like the big sort of connecting moment.
Maybe there's a chance that she will see what she really means to me, and maybe not.
Then, right at the end, Alyssa Lou, who was, of course, a U.S. figure skater who just skated with such beautiful freedom. Shireen Ahmed is here and Mel Woods is here, and we got into everything that we remember and the big, viral, memeable moments of this year's Olympics. Hello, both of you. How's it going?
Hello, hello.
Hi.
It's nice to have you here. Okay, before we get into the Olympics in general, I think we got to situate ourselves in the sadness of the moment, which is to say the Canadian men's hockey team, they lost gold to the USA in overtime. Let's just hear a little bit of how that moment went down.
Almost turned over. Now almost a 3-on-1. Back was McKinnon in front. John scores. Jack Hughes has won it for the United States.
No, I'm still bummed out about it. I'm still walking around just like in real sadness about it. Shireen, so much anticipation about that game, a Canada-US final, and then you were live on CBC Radio yesterday during that game. How are you feeling?
So, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a heartbreaker. There's a lot, but I have to say the caliber of hockey played by this team was incredible. I have stood by this line that the best team didn't win yesterday, the USA won.
I think that's a really good way to put it. I am someone who does not get invested in hockey very often. And then I get very confused by why I get so invested in Olympic hockey, but Olympic hockey sort of takes me to a different place. And I think I go, oh, this sport I can definitely get behind. Mel, how about you? What was going through your head yesterday?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat as you. I'm a fair weather hockey fan. I love to come and jump in and fall in love with these boys every 4 years. And waking up at 5 a.m. and watching it on my phone in bed with my headphones here in Vancouver yesterday while my partner slept beside me. It was disappointing. And for it to be Tate McRae's alleged boyfriend to be the one to enact this misery upon the country of Canada was disappointing, but I agree completely with Shireen. The game itself ruled. It was an amazing exhibition of the sport and making the case for NHLers being at the Olympics. Yeah. And if we get that every 4 years, sign me up. I am here all the time.
Shireen, it's not a secret to anybody that, there's this long-standing sort of rivalry between USA and Canada in hockey, but given the tensions with the Trump administration and our government right now, it felt like the stakes were different. It felt like the stakes were higher. How do you think politics shaped everything before the game even started, before that puck actually dropped?
So McDavid was asked about this, Canadian captain, after Sidney Crosby was not playing anymore. And he was like, look, it's the USA playing Canada, was his answer when he was asked something similar. So historically, this is one of the most intense rivalries, period. And for the women's game as well. The USA-Canada rivalry in hockey is just a storied relationship. I think the politics exacerbate things. I do not think this was as heated as the Four Nations Cup from last year. Yeah. Personally, where I pause it, that was me. And I become this unfettered nationalist when it comes to Olympic hockey. Normally, I'm like, borders are man-made, colonialism history is bad, but Canada has to effing win when it comes to hockey. I will lose it. And so it was so intense, and that's the exact reason why it's so important, Elamin. You, me, Mal, we're so invested at a societal, a psychological, and an emotional level.
Okay, we should talk about the fact that after the men's hockey, after the Team USA won, the FBI director Kash Patel joined the team in the locker room to party with them. And then the Guardian is reporting that the team got a call from U.S. President Donald Trump. He invited the team to the State of the Union address at the U.S. Capitol on Tuesday. He also made this joke about the U.S. women's hockey team that got a lot of people really upset. That's, again, being reported in a bunch of different places. Shireen, what did Trump say exactly?
So he said something to the effect of, if I didn't invite the women's hockey team, I would be impeached. And it's so ugly and bizarre and the ick for him to make jokes about that, particularly his history with women in general. Yeah. And I would have liked him to name one lineup. That's what I would have wanted. Is can you name a single player? And what I hate about this is that I don't know if USA Hockey is going to give the players the opportunity to say no if they don't want to go.
Right.
they may not have the chance or the choice and the agency be given that to say, I'm not going. Because him inviting them to the State of the Union and bookending himself with two teams whose success he contributed absolutely zero to, particularly the women. Like, it's infuriating as a whole scene. And you know he's going to, like, he's absolutely going to play it up as his personal victory, which makes it more nauseating.
Certainly some of the quotes that you're seeing from that Guardian story is like, it's exactly that, sort of like the taking ownership of, like, you know, this team did it on behalf of the United States. He, I think, at a certain point offered them a military plane, the Guardian was reporting. So like there's a whole bunch of stuff that makes people have that exact reaction you're having there, Shireen. The hockey game, of course, was one of the final events of the Olympic Games. The closing ceremonies were then later held in the historical venue called the Verona Arena. There was opera, there was ballet, there was drama, there was a passing of the Olympic flag to the next host of the Winter Olympics, which is the French Alps. Speed skaters Valérie Malte and Stephen Dubois were Canada's flag bearers. Mel, when you think about that closing ceremony, what was your favorite part of those closing ceremonies?
I mean, I always love opening and closing ceremonies because a country is trying to like showcase themselves in like often the most eclectic way possible. And I think for the closing ceremony, that is best represented by the appearance of DJ Gabri Ponte, Europop legend of Eiffel 65, doing Blue Daba Diba, which for some reason, I think because the band is called Eiffel 65, I assumed they were French, but no, they are Italian Europop legends. And the performance kind of celebrating the volunteers of the games. And so I just love an Olympics closing ceremony where we're going from opera to Europop to like big speeches and medals, and Greece is there, and I think it's a blast. But yeah, Europop at the closing ceremony was definitely my favorite part.
Okay, we got to also say that, like, when I think about these Olympic Games, there's a bunch of different viral moments. The one biggest viral moment is, of course, the Norwegian biathlete. And that's after winning bronze, Sturla Holm Lagerud said he was the worst week of his life. And then you kind of wait for the explanation of why, and it's because he then confesses to that he confessed to his girlfriend that he cheated on her, and then they broke up. And then in this press conference, he was asked about how he felt about sharing that news live on television.
So today I made the choice to tell the world what I did. So maybe there's a chance that she will see what she really means to me. And maybe not, but don't want to think I didn't try everything to get her back.
So just a sequence of events here is like they were together, and then he cheated on her, and then they broke up, and then he won the medal, and then he chose his post-medal speech to go, well, I made a mistake, and I would really like this person back. Shireen, you've been a sports journalist for 15 years. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No, this was one of the most wacky post-pressers I've ever seen. Okay, I need to have a conversation with Sturla because it really didn't go the way that I think he intended it. He did not read the room. And it was so bad. And it gave us, okay, first of all, the entire discipline of biathlon was like a TMZ scene for this particular Olympics. The storylines coming out of biathlon were wild. And this was just the beginning. And I remember thinking to myself, I was in the newsroom going, can it really get weirder than this? Like, funnier? But it became an absolute story. Like, it was a whole story. And then people were trying to find the ex-girlfriend. She's like, please leave me alone. I don't want any part of this. And that's the other thing too. Her being thrust unwillingly into this moment is so horrible. And him taking away the moment for the golden medal winner also. So the whole thing was bad. And that's the technical term in sports.
I do think every once in a while when these moments happen, I kind of go, wait a minute, I actually don't know who won gold in that event. The only thing that I know is that he won bronze, and then he gave that speech, and that has kind of become the defining moment of it. Having said that, Mel, we should also acknowledge that, like, I don't think this, the Winter Olympics generated nearly as many viral moments as Paris did. And so it's maybe worth talking about, for you, what are the gold and the silver and the bronze medals of meme-worthy moments from this Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, the Winter Olympics are always slightly smaller in scale than the
Yeah.
Summer Olympics. So even that exists to internet culture as well. But I think we still got some good ones this time around. We got the Canadian curling scandal, like the allegations from the Swedes about Canada cheating in curling, and then
Fingergate,
the
if you will.
allegations back about
Yes.
the filming of the hog line. We got the dog that ran onto the cross-country ski course, Nazgul, my hero, who got pictured in the like photo finish camera, and that's
Yeah.
an image that I think will last long past these games. We had the figure skating coach guy who was coaching 13 different teams and so wore 13 different jackets at the little kiss and cry period. And then we had like Eileen Gu basically, slamming anybody who was criticizing her, as she should, because she is
Laughing in their
a
face.
boss.
Yes.
Do you see these as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost?
I'm the most decorated female free skier in history. I think that's an answer in and of itself.
Laughing in their face, and she deserves it. So I think there was plenty of great memeable moments, even in Mensa Olympics that kind of had some weird vibes at time for all the political tensions that are going on.
Yeah.
I'm still glad we got this dog on the cross-country ski course and all the other stuff that came with it.
One of the, I think, most talked about athletes of this Olympics has been Alyssa Lou, who, of course, won gold for the United States in skating. Do you want to talk about the ways that people have been so just enraptured by her performance, but also her general vibe?
I saw a headline ahead of the women's figure skating event that called the 3 single skaters from the U.S., the Blade Angels, Gay, Alt, and from New Jersey. She's the alt of that trio.
Yes.
And I think with these kind of rings in her hair, with a labrum piercing, and she really, winning gold in that event, and she's talked so much about her like mental health, about coming back from retirement and doing things on her own terms, about choosing her own music, about doing everything. And for a sport that's so traditionally rigid, to have its champion, its representative be this cool girl who immediately, like after slamming her free skate, skated up to the camera and swore loudly and was like, "That's what I'm heckin' talking about." Like, that's who I want representing figure skating going forward. And it's so exciting to think about the generation of young girls who are not only going to get into figure skating because of her, but who are going to dye their hair and like cut their bangs like that. The world needs more of it. The world needs more Alyssa Lou.
I will say, like, it's exactly what you said. Like, the idea that, like, this is one of the most sort of rigid sports that there are. And then you watch her performance and go, I don't think I've ever seen anybody more free on the ice. Like, she's just sort of absolutely just in her element. Shireen, Canada has a bunch to celebrate, right? 21 medals, 5 of them gold, 7 silver, 9 bronze. Who was your hero at this year's Olympics?
I had a lot of fun watching Valerie Melte, who was one of the flag bearers in the end.
You're gonna have to show that to the camera.
I'm not traditionally into speed skating, but let me tell you, it's like F1 on ice. It's crazy. Short track is like you don't know who's going to fall or they're going to make you fall. Like it's actually really, and I got into it so much because Anastasia Busis and Signa Butler were also calling it. And that's the other thing. The way that the play-by-play announcers called this made it riveting. And they're very special social media moments in the way that your memory of these games is associated with someone's voice is really fascinating. So definitely Val Malte for me. Michael Kingsbury winning gold immediately. There was this whole sequence of like all the podium winners with their babies and toddlers and children. And it was so cute because there's a lot of parents who are athletes at this particular Olympics. And that was really cool to see because the longevity of the athletes. But before I forget, I do have to tell you, Mel, you have to see the Nazgul edit with the Littlest Hobo theme song music.
Maybe tomorrow I wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. So
That is
Somebody
Monday
did it.
content.
And I cried because someone at CBC Olympics was like, did that edit. And I was like, I watched it. It's in my self-care folder now.
I was going to say, like, send that to me after this conversation is done. Please. I really definitely want that. With the couple of minutes that we have left here, the Paralympics are up next. Mel, let me ask you, what events are you looking forward to? Who should Canada be looking out for, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite things about the Paralympics is that you have a lot less kind of household name recognition among the athletes, but you get this exhibition of waves of sport that I think are new to a lot of viewers in really exciting, interesting ways. So seeing things like sledge hockey and these sports that, in the Summer Olympics, you get like wheelchair rugby. And the way that sledge hockey is played versus ice hockey is a different sport entirely. You have these sticks with these like pokey bits on the ends, and like it's a completely different sport. And so I love putting on the Paralympics. I mean, European Paralympics and Olympics, great for people who work from home. Put it on in the background while you're working all day. And I'm excited to learn about some new sports, meet some new faces, and find some new people to root for who maybe aren't household names like Alyssa Lou or Mikhail Kinsbury along the way.
Shireen, 30 seconds to you. Paralympics, what are you looking forward to?
Molly Jepsen, definitely a para-alpine skier. I have had a great interview with Kalinda Joseph, who's a wheelchair curling athlete. She's 60. And I love talking to her, and like also anything on the ice, like the sledge hockey, like the para hockey is so important. I do want to really, really quickly shout out Raphael Toussignon, who was going to be up for being the first woman to be on that team, which is technically you can have mixed gender, but she was diagnosed with cancer, but she's a phenomenal athlete. Her prognosis is very good, but I just want people to keep her on their radar because she's an absolute star. She will not be at this particular paras, but she is one of Canada's national treasures. So keep a lookout for Raf.
I appreciate both of you. Thank you so much for coming on the show today, you guys.
Thanks so much.
Of course. Good to talk to you. Shireen Ahmed is a senior contributor with CBC Sports. She also teaches sports journalism at Toronto Metropolitan University. Mel Woods is a senior editor at Extra Magazine in Vancouver. And you can watch the Paralympic Games starting March 6th on CBC Gem. That is it for the podcast today. In the meantime, my name is Elamin Abdelmahmoud. This show is called Commotion. We'll be back tomorrow. We'd love to see you then.